Matoke. Let's keep on Matoke.
How you do it? Stop calling people Matoke. You're calling people banana.
Yo.
Hello,
Wasene.
everybody.
Happy New Year's Day.
Happy New Year to you.
Hallelujah.
We're still saying that.
Jeez.
People
we'll say that till we die, bro.
People say happy. People say Happy New Year until like the 14th of February.
March.
Of March.
Of March. That's the thing I hate about the first quarter.
Mm.
And then it's the running. But that's when you know we're old. Because, like, you never said that when you were in high school.
What?
Hey, guys, we're going to say Happy New Year till March.
No, we just say the whack jokes. I haven't seen you since last year.
Yeah, and that's high school. And then you'd say it like, you know, the first week of the first term.
Yes.
Done. Now that you're old, I'm like...
Compliments!
And then it's March and it's like, hey, we haven't seen each other. Are we going to say... don't say it. Don't say it. Just hi.
Yes.
What's up, bro? You good? What do you need? Let's move on. That's when you know we're old.
Yeah,
Right.
that's okay. Anyway, Happy New Year to you if you're listening to this, watching this. If you are listening to this, you are probably reflecting on all the money that you spent in December.
You're not reflecting. You have a hangover.
If you're listening to this, you are wondering why January is 45 days long.
Jesus. It feels like 12 months long. The first week of Jan feels like 12
Yes.
months long.
Like up until payday.
Oh, Lord.
If you are listening to this
Hey.
and you did what you said you would do, you are at least 2 days into your new fitness journey.
Come on now.
Congratulations.
Come on, man.
Congratulations.
If you're watching this, you are thinking, why didn't I quit my job last year?
You are currently kind regardsing as we speak. Or you're counting down the days to when you have to start kind regardsing.
You thought December would ease the toxicity of the culture of your office. And now you're like, shucks, I should have quit, bro.
And you're like, ish, man, but I need the money.
If you're watching this, you are thinking about school fees.
Ish.
And you wish you didn't have a kid. You're like, yes, I need to pay. How much is school fees for Jan? And I need to pay this for the next 11 months, bro. Or 10, technically. Anyway.
If you're watching this, you're probably thinking, I should have bought uniform instead of Christmas clothes.
Hey, your life is over. Hey.
But let's do some good things as well. There are some good things.
If you're watching this, you prepared for the year.
Yeah, if you're watching this, you're excited for all your plans. And you've probably made a vision board already.
If you're watching this, you pray you keep to your vision board.
Yeah.
And your plans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is, what we're going to discuss today.
We should, bro.
In this first episode of 2024 on the couch with the newborns.
But we can't do that without the song of the day.
I was getting there.
Okay.
I was getting there. See, I felt like we needed some inspiration.
Come on now.
We needed some uplift. Sometimes your soul can be downtrodden, but you need to sing to yourself. You need to preach the word to yourself.
I am singing in tongues and not speaking in tongues.
I don't actually know what you're doing, but God is good. So I was thinking we need something inspirational. And I feel like up until from 99, they stopped making inspirational songs.
Bro, because people started twerking from 99.
Yes.
Stop
it's
it.
Just,
we need inspirational songs.
We need the songs that bring us together.
As a nation.
As a people.
As a people.
As a unit.
As a gender.
Hey.
With agendas.
As a gender. I don't know where you took that. Okay.
It has to rhyme with agenda.
I see. Okay. Anyway, my song is, and I don't know the lyrics, but I think you'll recognize it.
Let's do it.
So I'm just gonna I look outside my window.
I told you were singing in tongues.
In the shadow winter night.
Oh yeah.
me. I'm looking into the shadows. But I never know.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
let's jump to the chorus.
Pre-chorus.
I don't know the words either. I only know the chorus. There's a new tomorrow. I don't know. I'm messing it up.
No, you're messing it up.
It's
Anyway,
fine.
chorus.
But the chorus is cause. Now I'm going lower because it's too high now. Cause it's my African dream. No, let's do that again.
This is the Lotto Song. I was asking you what the Lotto Song is. This is the Lotto Song.
Is it?
It is.
My African dream.
Guys, the first year Lotto came out,
it's a dream.
this was
you can
the song of the title sequence.
Like,
are we going to talk about African dreams today?
Remember that. I just was like, that song as a child made me feel like, yes, everything
Vicky who?
was Vicky Sampson, which I won't lie, I didn't know her name properly till like, yeah. But that song made me feel hopeful, made me feel like you know the moment when the bird's wings open.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yes.
Like, and if you can dream it, you can do it.
Feels like your favorite smell.
Like, yes, like just like so I felt like we needed something inspirational.
Come
because they don't
on
make
now.
songs like that anymore.
Nah.
I was like, we are the world. They don't do that.
We are the world.
We don't have songs like that anymore. Yeah. Now we just wanna now we wanna groove. We're not trying to build a nation.
That's where we're at. Yeah. Guys, maybe 2024 2024.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to say it like that.
What is it?
2024.
2024.
Wow. So 2024.
I'm sure we're building a nation here. We can't build a nation.
5 syllables.
Exactly. We can't build a nation with shortcuts. We
Okay.
must say the whole thing the way it is. Because now, a friend of ours who's a teacher told me that apparently now they need to give kids 5% smart.
Wow.
Just because you registered in the class, I need to give you 5% at the end of the year. I'm like, guys,
Why?
like, how? You know what I was thinking? Say, and I'm getting to a point. My sister was studying. No? Shout out, she's done with matric. She was studying, and then she was on YouTube or somewhere watching like a lesson, you know, of whatever it is she was studying. I'm like, bro, you know how many times we were doing exams, and I was like, I wish my teacher could just show up and say the thing that she said again.
You're right.
And
all we
these
had was
kids-
past papers, and even though sometimes you didn't understand them either.
Bro, and then you like, when I wrote these notes, they made sense. Now I don't know.
But now I don't know. Wow. Yeah, that's cute.
And they can just YouTube whole lesson again. Fresh, bro. Like she was listening to the stuff the day before she was writing, the morning she was writing, on the way when I dropped
I
off.
didn't even
at
think
school.
of that. That's amazing.
And yet, this is the generation that's getting 5% extra.
And then there's a generation that didn't even have calculators.
Wild.
Who are looking at us like,
wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How do we get better in how we can learn, and yet be becoming more lenient and giving marks,
yeah, but
lowering
that's a conversation
rate.
about the education system.
No,
and
no,
what
no,
the
no,
actual
hundreds,
intention is.
hundreds. No, that's there. But my point is, if we are building a nation, can't build a nation with. We can't. How do we come up with an inspirational song?
Exactly.
When people are getting 5% extra, they just want me. That's it, dog.
Like we're not trying to heal the world.
No Vicky Simpsons.
Make it a better
here.
place.
You can't now come be my African.
There's a new tomorrow.
Hey, no.
Anyway, building nations, guys.
What's your African dream, Joe?
Oh, okay. I was trying to make a statement.
Come on now.
Which I think was gonna land.
Segue, come on.
Building a nation starts with building yourself.
Oh, come on now. And building yourself starts with building your mind.
Yeesh.
Building your mind starts with building your thoughts.
Nice. Are you going to take it to a microscopic level?
Yeah,
because building your thoughts means you have to build new neural pathways.
Hey.
And that takes consistency.
Hey, and that takes building confidence.
Hallelujah. Can you tell we're inspired? We're in an African dream right now.
Come on. This podcast is called The African Dream. On the couch with the African Dream.
Yes, newborns.
Newborns. Anyway.
But to answer your question.
Yes.
What's you asked me what my African dream is, what my dream is. So, okay. I'm sure there's like a lot of content going around as there is this time of the year.
Yeah.
And let me not lie, I do enjoy it. Like I enjoy the whole new year, new me, and that first like month or two when we're in that like fantasy, you know. And I myself have fallen into that sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Pandemonium, delirium. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's almost like a dream-like state.
Euphoria.
Yeah, the euphoria, you know, of the newness, you know.
How to grow your YouTube channel.
Yeah, how
in 2024.
Yes.
I'm like, but you said the same thing in 2023.
Yeah, but you know.
Just change the thumbnail.
But the reason why people keep saying the same things is because people aren't doing them.
Hey,
we don't do them.
Come on.
Because I used to get so annoyed with those things. Like, oh, you just say that. Like, and like, I remember one of the Kev on stage, and this was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where he posted about, he's like, all the people at the gym are complaining about how gyms are full. And he's like, just allow us to just gym until, you know, allow us to gym until the 14th of February, because you know we're going to follow. Just allow us to pretend like we're really committed. And then you'll have the gym. You'll have it all yours once Valentine's Day is done.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think for me, the big change that I did last year, which kind of centers around where my views and within this whole new year resolution thing kind of lands. So I won't say it happened to me beginning of the year. I think it started happening towards the end of 2022, going into 2023, where I think I came face to face with, there was a lot in my life that looked the same because I just hadn't stuck to the thing enough for the change to actually
like
take place. Right? So for instance, like my fitness and weight loss. Like I remember just being like, yes, I used to look at my mom and my aunts and they were always on some sort of weight loss situation. And then I'm like, I'm exactly that with me and like my friends. And I'm like, this could be us. And I think end of 2022 was when I really just started taking it seriously. You know, just being like, okay, cool. You know, what are we doing? And then even like stuff within my career. But mainly was just my mindset and really sort of addressing the way I actually think and why I think that way and where those thought patterns come from and recognizing that they are patterns. And so going into the beginning of 2023, that was kind of my thing where I was like, okay, cool. I'm not going to do the whole, like, we're cutting out sugar. We're going to work out every day. We're going to wake up and read 10 books every morning.
Every single morning.
You know what I mean? I'm never going to fight with my husband. I'm never going to lose patience with my child.
Let's try that. Just that one.
We can.
Let's try
for like the next hour.
Okay, cool. Here we are.
So I didn't do that. But then I think it was like around March or April where I started saying, okay, cool. Certain patterns have taken decades to form in my life.
Yes.
And they're not going to just go away overnight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, let's take working out, which I think is a lot of things for a lot of people.
Sure.
Whether you want to lose weight, gain muscle, whatever, or just be fit. The biggest challenge is not the actual being on the road or being in the gym. It's in your mind. Because for so long, you've just not had to wake up or not had to schedule that time in, you know? And I remember reading, it was also beginning of 2023, reading David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me.
Come on, no.
Right? Like, David Goggins is not for everyone. And it took me like 4 or 5 times to even like finish that book. Because I was like, it's very, he swears a lot. And besides the swearing, like he's very like, this is this and that is that. And I didn't like that. But I realized I didn't like that because I didn't want to hear the truth. It like,
I mean, that's an extreme truth. But anyway.
No. What I mean was, not everything he says in the book, but I'll give you this one example, talking about working out. And he's like, oh, people always have excuses for working out. I have to wake up early. I have to, and he's like, just wake up an hour earlier. And he's like, if you have to be at work at 4 a.m., then wake up at 3 a.m. And in my head, I'm like, And it's like, yeah, but waking up at 3 a.m. will only be hard because you're sleeping at midnight. So that means you need to. And I think that kind of thing where, that's what I'm trying to say, that the biggest challenge was my mindset. I didn't want to be challenged about how I was thinking. Because I would be like, no, but I have this and I have this and I have that and I have that, without realizing that there's changes that I could make that could get me to where I want to get to if I'm willing to be uncomfortable for a little bit. So the benefit I saw with just changing my mindset is something that I want to carry into 2024. So do I have like my own. No, I don't have a vision board because my timing of my vision board is differently, but it's different. But do I have things I want to accomplish this year? Yes. But I think the biggest lesson I learned last year was to remain consistent and to remain committed. And that's my dream for this year, to just continue to remain consistent, continue to remain committed, and to put up the fight to change my mindset.
You need another C there. You need another C. Consistent, committed, controlled.
No, that's a real thing.
I know.
That's a real thing. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I just went off on a tangent there. What's your African dream?
No, that's dope. I think we're going to speak about that, you
Yes.
know, and there's a lot to double tap on that, because I'm like, sometimes the hard thing about, like, you know, New Year's resolutions, blah, 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 is I think it's all the stuff that we've attached to it, good and bad. So the good things is, if we set New Year's resolutions, you know, so it's this whole talk of setting goals and knowing where you're going and you're planning, blah, blah, blah. That's good. But at the same time, when we speak of New Year's resolutions and there's the good things of planning, etc., we also throwing in all the remembrance of our failures. You know? So when you say New Year's resolutions, I think it triggers two things. It triggers hope and it triggers like anxiety.
Sorry.
Yeah, anxiety and even despair, because I failed before and now I'm anxious.
Yeah.
And it just feels like New Year's resolutions is this big principal headmaster, right? Who's like, you said New Year's resolutions, so you better, right? And then by the time you get to like end of Feb, you're like, I headmaster me, I'm tired, bro. Right? Like, because here's another thing, like, we don't realize, guys, as much as December is supposed to be for rest, we're grooving. We're not resting. It's not
in South Africa.
Even if you're on holiday,
you are
anywhere you are, festive. Yes. It's everything, bro, right? So by the time we get to Jan, we think we're gonna now start running with some new energy. But again, there's just what's the word? Yeah, it is a euphoria of, or even just the air of newness, man. And you think, we're gonna run now, and I'm like, that air takes you to the end of Jan, bro. Like, if at all, right? It doesn't carry you, bro. So all of that to say, like, I think like we should probably approach, doing life in light of achieving goals, succeeding specific areas differently, than trying to put pressure on ourselves. One, right? But I think we need to be, just a bit more realistic. I nearly said wise, but I think like we need to be realistic. And going back to your point of not wanting to hear the truth, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, smack, there's a lack of willingness to actually want to commit to either sacrificing or doing something, right? Here's the thing. I saw this other dude say this, and then I remember chatting about this in the Bible study as well, where I'm like, everything we're going to do is hard, right? But we don't think like that. So if you're going to, now in December, you stuffed yourself with 4 boxes of pizza every day, you drank a 6-pack of Black Label and drank 2 bottles of wine, that's hard. You're having fun, but that's hard on your body, right? Very, very hard, right?
I remember this. I remember I was talking about this somewhere. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be hella hard.
Yeah.
Or you can just exercise restraint, not drink as much, not party as much, still go to the gym over December, don't spend as much, etc. Is that going to be hard? It's going to be hard because everyone is jiving.
Yes.
It's going to be hard. So stuffing yourself and jiving a lot is hard because of what it does to your body, to your mind, sometimes to your emotions, and people have regrets after that. And that's why you're watching this thing thinking, how am I going to cleanse my regret, right? Or just being disciplined, having restraint, exercising wisdom. That's also hard. Now it's Jan. You had 4 boxes of pizza every day, and you look at how your body is. That's hard to even look at, right?
Yeah.
The person who's been disciplined, blah, blah, etc., they come here. They're probably feeling, see, my legs are hard because I've been training the whole of December. My arms are sore, wada, right? That was hard as well. But by the time you guys both get to March, this dude who was disciplined, he's going to start enjoying the benefits. You have wasted time, dog.
Sheesh.
Right? That's
a hard truth to even hear.
Exactly.
Like,
that's going to be harder.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't want to hear that I'm wrong.
That's going to be harder.
I was having fun.
You were. That's going to be harder. And now you basically going to have to start by March to try and quote unquote clean up your act. This dude is enjoying the benefits of his, again, neuropaths that have formed, right? And now the exercise is way easier. It's part of his routine. It's part of his rhythm now. And he's just enjoying those benefits. It's still hard that he's training. He's waking up every single day, still doing the thing, right? So all that to say, just both paths are going to be hard. It's just that the other one just leads to more hardness. The other one leads to some benefits, some growth. Yes, there'll still be things that are hard, but at least there's going to be some enjoyment here, right? And so I would say, yeah, man, New Year's resolutions, we're going to do 10 things that we're going to change. We're going to try and, like what you were saying, I'm going to cut this. I'm like,
all at the same time.
Just like, I think aim for one thing, man.
I agree.
I'm going to be, like you said, consistent, right? At what? At one thing. I'm not going to try and now be consistent at gym, at church, at this, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's okay, bro. Maybe you get to, church starts at 9 and you get to church at 9:30. Let's try and maybe get to church at like 20 past and not 5:30 anymore, right? It's fine. And or get to church at 9, Vele. And then at gym, try at least go 3 times a week, from nothing. 3 times and then build on that, but don't try and now I'm going to flip everything. Find one thing, be consistent at that, because I think some of those wins in that one thing also motivate you to, try and be consistent in other areas. Motivate you to also seek for wins, at least in other areas, right? So I'm like, yeah, man, like, and part of the pressure is obviously videos like these, right? If we're honest, and that's the stuff.
What are you doing in 2024?
Yeah. That's gonna be the title of this video. Yeah.
Are you gonna stay the same?
Yeah.
Are you gonna change?
Do you feel like a loser?
Are you tired of the same old you? You need to watch this video. And the thumbnail is like.
Tired of hanging out with the same old losers who tell you that you guys are never going to get anywhere.
24 things you need to do to have a great 2024.
I'm stressed. 24 things. I'm stressed. Please.
I love what you said about, sorry, just going back to doing one thing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Like I think there are 2 kinds of people, maybe 3, who go into the new year, right? There's the ones who are like overexcited, everything's gonna change because like the clock struck 12 and it's the 1st of January.
Cinderella.
Right? Then there's the super like negative, everything sucks.
Yeah.
What makes you think everything will change? And then there's people who just don't care. And I think
they're
just like, listen, I always wake up to drink coffee at 5 a.m. Why would I not do that today? Right? And I think for the one who's like, actually for both, in terms of like the person who's like super pessimistic and the one who might be overly and optimistic and just needs to be a bit more realistic. And I think being realistic is not saying, you shouldn't dream big. It's just be honest about your own limitations. Like just be honest about your own stuff that shucks. Sure. Usually by the time winter hits, and then you prepare for that, right?
Yeah.
So
prep,
for me, which I think I would really like for you to speak on that, because that's something that you did, I think, quite well in 2023, in terms of just which then helped me as well manage my own limitations. But in terms of like the making the list of 10 things, I would one thing that helped me as well was I would package each season. So whether it was like, okay, for the next 6 weeks or for December, I'm just focusing on this thing. For January, I'm focusing on, so it doesn't have to be one thing for the whole year. It was like, okay, so same thing in terms of like when people need to get like a major life change in terms of health and fitness, it'll be like, okay, just start with walking. Right? And then start with walking and then cutting out 1 chocolate bar. And then like you almost like do it like gradually so that you don't overwhelm not only your system but also your mind. And I found that was like really helpful to say, okay, cool, given the season I'm in, right now, I just need to focus on waking up at this time so that I can have my coffee, pray, meditate, work out, so that by the time my family wakes up, I'm in a good space.
Sure.
Let me just do that thing. I'm already doing all of those things, but it's kind of chaotic. It's at different times of the day. So the challenge is just do it all at 5 a.m. or at 4:30, whatever the case may be. Then at least it's not like I'm doing this and I'm starting a business and I'm going to do that. And like it just becomes...
I'll be curious to know what you want to do, but we can get into that.
On camera.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm still a black superstitious child.
You gonna... what's the word? What's the word now?
What? Jinx.
Jinx.
Yeah, but it's not jinx. Like
jeopardize was in my head.
Jeopardize. And I like jinx, it's kind of like the other day. Me and my mom we went away and we were walking to our rooms and it was at night and a cat was following us.
Wow, that's witchcraft.
Thank you. That's all. Me and her were like, why is this cat following us? And because I'm like, cats, if it was a dog, maybe. But cats, from what I know, are not like that.
But I mean, you're in the wild, Lillian.
Exactly. And I was like, luckily it wasn't a black cat because then I would be done. But we were walking and it would stop and it would catch up with us and sit. And then we walk. Eventually got to the room. Got in the room, closed the door quick, fast.
Cat people are going to comment.
Yeah, I don't care.
No, the thing is, the cat desires to like rub them.
Yeah, probably. But the cat must detect that we don't trust it. And in that moment,
Cats
I was like,
I'm
like, I should know that this is just an animal. But in my mind, that cat is
imagine if that cat was walking next to you guys with an owl. Whoa!
An owl!
An owl. Witchcraft.
We're not coming out the room.
No, you're getting in the car, you're leaving that place.
Listen. And then the following morning, people are like, oh, the cat follows everybody. But I was like, yeah, but it followed us.
Sure.
So anyway, with an owl. No. So based on that, I'm like, I don't know. I'll see what I'm comfortable sharing. But you haven't yet told us what your African dream is and how you are going to navigate that in this year based on how you navigated whatever your African dream was in 2023.
My African dream in 2023 was to dream again. And I did way more dreaming than I anticipated. So I won't change anything.
I knew that.
Yeah, I didn't say.
Sure.
I didn't say.
You did some amazing stuff in 2023. So, wow. Yeah.
So I think I started dreaming again. Obviously, went into new spaces. So it's just doing that now. Let's just do it. Like get more of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of things on my plate that I need to finish, accomplish, etc. But I'm like, 2024, just finish those things, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's things I need to get done.
So it's for you, your resolutions are kind of, not resolutions, your dream
African dream.
Your African dream, that's what we're going to call it, is carrying over from 2023. There's nothing sort of new or...
So it's new in the sense of where it's going to go. 2023 was, I want to dream again, and then I started dreaming, and then, you put your first step into a specific dream. So now it's like, let's walk in it. Right. So I got one leg in, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Then I'm like, let me walk in it now.
Okay.
So I just want to walk in that now.
Okay.
And the thing, I think I've always lived from. I like history. You know this, and I know you like history. We should actually do a history book together.
A history book? Oh, I thought you were going to write one.
Nah.
I would love that. Yes.
We should read a history book together. We should pick.
We've never read a book together. We've never read and finished the same book.
Yeah, we've tried reading a couple of books, and
we have.
Yeah. There was one we started, and we were both like, "Hey, this thing is gonna be hot.
Our marriage is not gonna survive." Recollection. There was one book we read. Was it Tim Keller's What Did You Expect?
It was Paul Tripp. What
sorry. Expect, yeah. Yes, but yeah, and then I just tell you about the books I read.
It was chapter 1, and we were both like, our marriage is not gonna last. Yeah. Dope book.
We should try again. We were like 3 years old back then, so I wasn't even born.
But it was scary because he's just real, bro.
Yeah. Anyway.
He's just real. So, because I like history, I've always lived from, thinking of things in hindsight, and so trying to compare present moments with like historical moments, and then seeing how people in history did certain things when they got to certain points, and how do we then not repeat the same mistakes, try and press in deeper into some of their good decisions and achievements, etc., etc. And I think failing and surviving failure the past 10 years with our music career, etc., etc. And obviously we released Stronger. You guys might have seen that.
If you haven't watched Stronger, it's our documentary. Scroll back a few videos. Well, maybe not a few.
Go check that out.
Yeah.
And I think it's that part of me that's making this new wave of dreaming personally different, because before I didn't have anything to compare it with, being the guy who likes to compare historical stuff with present moments. Now it feels like I have a whole decade of living and walking in a specific dream that I can use as reference for this new wave of dreaming that I have. And that's what I did in 2023, It's like, okay, cool. Like when we started in 2013, we did this. That led to where we are now in 2023. So now as we start dreaming again, let's not perhaps do that, because at least now we have cues, And I know some people take cues from other people, etc., etc. But for me, this was such a big moment, because I'm taking cues from my own lived experience, which was different for me. So that's what I did. So what I'm gonna do different now is obviously, press deeper into that. And the cool thing is, last year, I saw like so much success in how I was walking in the new things that I started. That gave me hope, more confidence to continue then taking more steps as we get into 2024 than I did previously in my quote unquote old dream, right? So I just wanna, I think I wanna enjoy that. I wanna press deeper into that. One example I'll give you, and I'll pass then to you, because I know you had a question. I remember after we released Stronger, I think, and then I got a message from a friend of ours, and they were like, "Yo, man, I think this is dope. What you're doing, etc., etc. Keep it up." Or I had done something on 2.5. I forgot, but I remember saying, "Thank you. This is dope. Really, appreciate the fact that you took time to watch." And I remember saying to them, like, it feels incredible having to learn how to receive feedback again, right? Because for 10 years of us doing music, at some point you level out in how you receive feedback, So first month of you releasing a song, you're like, I don't know how people are gonna do this, except this thing. How's this thing gonna? Then you release a music video, and then you do your first show, and you do your first tour. By the time you do your third tour, release your third album, release like the 10th single, like you've kind of leveled out in how you receive feedback from people.
Yeah.
So yes, there might be some anxiety there. You've kind of worked out ways and how to protect your ego from getting too big, and you having a big head and thinking, I'm getting feedback, so I am the shizness or whatever, right? So you've kind of worked all of these things out. But then when your dream gets crushed and you just feel like you're nowhere, you don't even know how to receive feedback anymore, right? So that moment of somebody saying, hey, I think you're doing well here, and thinking, well, I feel like it's, I heard a couple of people say this, but don't be afraid to be a rookie or an amateur in something else.
Yeah.
Right? So it felt like that moment where it's like you can enjoy the process enough that it's like, oh yeah, sure, I feel like I'm a rookie.
Like, don't be afraid to not know what you're doing.
Yeah, and enjoy that.
And enjoy that, yeah.
And enjoy that, you know what I mean? And so that moment gave me that, where it was like, yeah, this feels new and I don't know what I'm necessarily doing here, but I have the know-how to know that I don't know what I'm doing here, compared to the first time we launched ourselves to, you know, a new dream, and it was like, I can't show that I don't know.
Hey.
I need to, because people need to trust me and book me and do the things and trust my music, etc., etc. So now it's like,
but isn't that also taking what you said about, because it's something sort of rang in my head when you said people take cues from other people versus taking cues from themselves. I know for me, a lot of the time, it's the feeling of everyone seems to be okay, so I need to act like I'm okay. So I spend so much time doing that instead of engaging with why am I actually not okay and what can I do, versus now there's almost like sounds like you're more inward focused as to where am I at and how do I correct that and recalibrate and do what I need to do so that I can get to where I need to be. Not like, oh, everyone walks like this, I need to also walk like this. Meanwhile, like, I don't know.
Sure.
So but I wanted to ask, because,
and sorry, I wanted to say, it's not that, that's not to say like, so that whole looking inward, it's not like, oh, I'm just selfish about my thing, whatever, but I'm like, it's just comparing your own experience with where you at now.
But I think I don't think that's a bad thing.
No,
because only you are living your life.
Hundreds.
And if you're not going to take the time to learn the lessons that your life is trying to teach you, like, you probably will keep repeating the same thing over and over again.
Hundreds. 1,000.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but what I wanted to ask, what I want you to touch on, was the whole thing of, like, when you spoke earlier about when people start New Year's resolutions, start the new and they have their resolutions, they don't take in mind their own limitations. You know, I've made that mistake several times, and it's not just sometimes with New Year. It can be like a new season, or like when we realize that it's the last 3 months of the year, whatever the case may be, and now you're speeding because the end is coming.
Sure.
Right. So, like, I know, and you can talk on it if you want to, but like last year, you were more aware of your dip. So I think we've spoken about it in some podcasts where there's a time of year where it's just like April, where you just dip, where there's just like a major dip in like every aspect. And I think we first acknowledged that there was a cycle happening here. No, we had actually spoken about it before we dated. How you were like, oh, you used to talk about your years being different, your months being different colors, and you're like, oh, from this season to this season, things it is brown. But I just thought it was like a cute thing, whatever. It's until obviously got married, and then you start paying attention. And like, I think we only,
these colors are not cute; they're
real.
This is
not just a thing. This is like a real thing, and it's not just because girls are in winter. This is Mrs. Brown, like, you know. But I think we acknowledged it in either 2020 or 2021 that there's a situation that happens
because we're at home.
I do think that's a big thing, because the dip would have happened straight after lockdown in 2020. And so, but 2023, like, you were very aware of the dip, and as somebody watching you, I watched you almost be like, I watched you move despite the dip. Which was huge. Where it was like, okay, cool. This version of Black I've never known. You know what I mean? I watched you get up, do what you needed to do. And even in your bad days, you'd have bad days, but there was like, but I still want to go do what I need to do. You know, which was huge. And I was like, oh, we've stepped into a new level.
Hey, a new level, new devils.
New territory, right?
Hey.
Like, but, and funny thing is, a lot of major things actually were built during that dip where we saw the benefits of towards the end of 2023. And so I guess my question to you is a twofold question. The one is, how are you going to do that again this year? Or what would you say for people who kind of go through, people who who know that there might be a, what am I trying to say? What would you say to people who are facing their own limitations, how to handle that? But also, as your wife, I'd want to, like, I think in as much as you pushed through, I can't say I saw that much joy, right? And it's not that I was like, he's so joyless. It's just like, it was more like head down, you know, just do what you got to do.
Yeah, but that's what I needed to do. That's why. So I'm like, because the dip already exists. And we've tried to think about...
So maybe I'm asking an impossible question.
No. And we've tried to think about why the dip exists. And if I go back to 2004, this is my biggest guess. Guys, please give me money to go to a psychologist, and then I'll talk to a psychologist about it. But I think the biggest reason I think I hit the dip then, that's when things cracked at home. So it was Feb 2004 when the white people rocked up at my house and said we need to go.
Sure.
And then my dad was like, things will be fine. I think it's in April 2004 where I was like, this is all lies, bro. In my 15-year-old brain. And so maybe I think I have the dip because I had to winter during winter. Right? And I've just been wintering ever since. Like my brain just hits that season and we just winter. I think.
Like there's a trigger.
Something is triggered. Might be wrong. But all we know is that April till August, don't call me.
Most challenging months of the year.
Yeah. Don't hit me up. It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think because that's already there, having the courage, the willingness, the bravery, and all of that comes... I cannot take credit. God's grace. I cannot smile. Like smiling would be asking for another life, another heart, another mind that's not there. For the fact that I just survived that thing, I'm like, yo man, let's get awards out. Let's put the red carpet. We killed it. We won, bro. If you want to smile from this, like, yes, man. Like you asking me to live another lifetime.
That's sobering to hear.
Yeah.
For me, like as the person who lives with you, it's like
yeah, sure. Okay. So I think part of God gracing me was me also saying, hey man, like we know this thing, and so because you kept on using the word aware, and I was like, I didn't move differently last year because I was aware. I've been aware. It's what you said earlier. It's the willingness. It's the David Gorgon says, you wake up an hour earlier and you're like, I don't want to hear that. Where it's like, yeah, but are you gonna keep on saying that every April? I don't want to hear the fact that we need to push through this thing.
Because at a certain point, it's like, then don't complain about it.
Yeah, then
don't tell us about your dip.
Yeah, go into your dip and leave us alone. Bro, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of David Gorgon's, part of the things that I did, which was pushing through the dip, was having decided, obviously being an ex jogger and having issues with my knees and ankles, and then not deciding, okay, cool, I'm just gonna walk, right?
Yeah.
The big thing was, let me just walk, right? And then I remembered, just before thinking about the dip, winter's gonna come. Then normally when winter comes, we all drop out. Nobody goes to the gym. Everybody stops doing stuff. So then I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get tight. We're gonna walk, right? Okay, what if it rains? I bought a raincoat. Okay, if it's gonna rain and you have your walking shoes, they're gonna get wet. Okay, buy boots.
But right? You were on a mission.
Yeah.
And I was like, this man keeps buying new things for these walks of his. But it was good. Yeah. I was like, this is good. Like because you were so serious about that. I'm gonna walk every day.
Yeah, and I remember one time walking, because I'm walking to work, and then we see a friend of ours, right, pulling up in his car, and then he's with his sons, and it's raining, and so it starts raining, and so they're like, yo man, slow down for him. Let's give him a lift. So these are the sons saying this to the dad. And so the dad then, I think he either lowered his window and asked me if I was, because I also have earphones when I'm walking. Earphones. So anyway, I remember thinking at that point when it started raining, because you were reading David at that point, I was like, channel your inner David Coggins.
David Coggins
You're gonna walk. Yeah, you're gonna walk in this rain.
There'll be a hurricane and David
but
Coggins
like everything in me is like, stuff David. Screw David. Who the hell is David? Does David know who I am? Stuff him. And then I'm like, no, we're gonna channel our inner David Coggins. We gotta push, bro. But as soon as I saw that car, I was like, screw David, bro. I started hitching. Right, I'm like, yo,
putting the thumb.
Yeah, you need to stop. But then he thought I was saying I'm good.
I think you're saying you sharp.
Yeah. So he's like, left. So I'm like, yeah. But he thinks, no, go, I'm good.
And you're like, oh.
So he like just pulls away. Then in my head, I'm like, yo, dog, you're supposed to stop. And at that point, then I was like, nobody cares. Channel your inner David Coggins.
David Coggins is like, you shouldn't have been hitchhiking.
Yeah, you shouldn't have hitched. So then I was like, damn it, and it's raining, bro. It's pouring.
Yeah.
And I'm walking. But anyway, all of that to say, it's at that point just the willingness to want to persevere, right?
Yes.
And it's not inspired or outside of God's grace. I don't believe that at all, right? I think God's grace is available. It's what we do with it, right? And I think part of the willingness to want to change is God's grace is available, and you just like, I saw, right? So it's there. And I think in that moment, and even just surviving my dip, I was like, okay, cool. Like, he's not leaving, you not leaving, right? Community around me is not. No one is like, it's your dip, bye, right? It's everything internally that's like, dog, we giving up. Like, we'll see you in August. Like, literally, you know it. I get in.
No, like that switches off.
And then in August, I'm like,
offline.
I'm like, Happy New Year!
Birthday month, because it's your birthday month.
Happy New Year! Literally, 1st of August.
It's like a weird.
First week at least.
Yeah.
I'm like, Happy New Year! I'm even like, what is going on? Like, you know, and it feels like we didn't go through what we just went through, right? So I think, yeah, there was just that thing, man. A willingness because of the awareness. We've always been aware of that. At least even as long as you've been in my life, you've been aware. I've told you about the dip. You know, so now it's just like, yo, man, how do you push through that thing?
Yeah.
And actually, I was talking to somebody. I'll pass you now, right? But I was talking to somebody today, and if they're watching this, sorry, but I was just like, man, there's a point in your life, especially now as adults, where you need to realize that you're an adult.
Okay.
And you just need to choose the adult stuff. You need to do the hard things.
Hey, do hard things.
Do hard things. Right? You need to just decide that, bro.
Yeah.
And just stick to that. And realize that, yeah, you know, I want to fantasize about, like now, you know, we want to just chill. It's New Year. We want to relax. And bro, you have school fees to pay, bro. Right? If you didn't apply for your kids' registration last year, well, you messed up. Do it now. You have to be an adult. You can't just be like no one is coming to do it for you. You have to do it, right? No one is coming to be like, yo, here's a bag of money so that you can live your life. You have to go work. You have to put things together. At some point, you have to just be like, it's, and I'm not saying it's not hard, and I'm not saying it's not going to suck.
Accept it. It's not going away.
It's not going away.
It's not going away.
And that's part of the thing.
And your desire is for, and I think the thing is, if the desire for it to be easier would not be there, the difficulty wouldn't be even more difficult.
Yeah.
But there's this constant desire for how it would be if this, but I'm like, it's not going away.
It's not going away, bro.
You cannot wish it away.
And that's why I'm like, at that point, you have to say, sorry, you know, if like Zaya's not an adult. If she's like, yeah, man, I'm done with life now. Yeah, there's a level of comfort that we afford her, you know. So it's like, like she's tired. She came back from school. Okay, my 4-year-old baby, shame, you can sleep, right? But when she's 12, there's a level at which we're gonna say, you can't now just sleep. Go wash your socks. Tomorrow at school. You know, so now it's like, okay, sure, she can't wash her clothes. We'll do it for her. And then 12, there's a different level of responsibility. 21, different level of responsibility. 31, different level of responsibility.
There's a point where peeing the bed is just not acceptable.
It's not,
Don't care how tired you are at night. And you just can't be like...
and that's part of, I think, the challenge that we find ourselves in now, with this whole, New Year's resolution stuff, where the triggers of hope, when you say New Year's resolution, but the triggers of failure as well. And then we'll justify the triggers of failure with, but just like, hey guys, we tried Kev on stage thing. Like, just
give us till Valentine's
We're going to give
Day.
up anyway. Right? But I'm like, we keep that, and that's a joke, and that's fine.
I know.
But we keep perpetuating that kind of thinking because we haven't clicked that you're an adult, dog. If you don't do it, no one is coming. Your mother's not coming to do this thing for you, dog.
And they tell you that.
Your mother's not coming.
They tell you that, but there's still a part of you that thinks someone's coming. The grown-up is coming, so you look in the room and you're like, you're the grown-up.
Exactly.
I'm the grown-up?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll say two things and end. But when you finish high school, what's the one thing they keep drumming in our heads? When you get to varsity, no one is checking your homework. You're going to have to do your homework yourself. And then we're like, yeah. And then you get to varsity, and no one cares.
Yeah.
Your lecturer is not like, oh, you didn't do my assignment.
Zero.
Who hands in stuff? You haven't handed in? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, ma'am, please don't, ma'am, here. Go sit down. Done. Already, they've told you that there's a new level of responsibility, right? So I'm like, there's that, dog. So I'm like, yo, man, like, stuff just needs to click into our heads, that we realize, okay, now we grown, right? I forgot the second thing I wanted to say, but anyway, yeah.
No, thanks for that. I mean, I'm passing it back to you because I think I would want to ask you, like, the encouragement for people who sort of come face to face with themselves, like, in terms of, like, shucks, maybe I over, because I know with you, I would see you, because you also would go extreme. Like, everything was, we're drinking 10 liters of water a day, and I'm walking, and then the dip comes and everything is out the window. And so I guess encouragement for people who might be anticipating that, hey, there's this time of the year or whatever the case may be. So, like, for me, it's a thing where, and mine is a little bit hard to anticipate. Again, we've talked about it a lot on the podcast, my struggles with depression and anxiety. Like, I can't anticipate that, on the 3rd of March, this will happen, right? Like, I don't have that thing. But I also know that there's certain things I can do on a daily basis that can help me, where when the dip comes, it shouldn't take me out. At least that's what I hope.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So for me, I think the big thing was acknowledging, because I think even though I had suspected that the mental illness was there and whatever, and I was dancing around it and then getting diagnosed, even after going through my whole process, there was still, for a long time, I didn't want to accept that this is something that's here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so even that, like, having to be like, okay, cool, Lily. So you can't be reckless about what you're eating or what you're watching, or reckless. Like, exercising is, cool, body goals, but there's also, like, for your mind, because you have this monster that if you're not starving it, it will grow. You know what I mean? So for me, that's like a thing where at every point, I'm like, okay, cool. I need to sort of be wary of this thing, because I'd hate for it to take away another however many months. But also, I don't know what will happen. So that's kind of like I don't really have like a seasonal sort of dip sort of situation thing. Yes. Like I think you have. But yeah, I think like I said earlier, my thing was just mindset. Like just to be consistent with whatever the thing I said that I'm going to do is, and take one thing at a time. So I guess, my question is like, for people who like what would you say to Black in 2021 who was like hitting the dip or who was anticipating the dip? I don't know if my question is making sense. Yeah.
It's prep, man. Prep. So, so again, getting the raincoats, getting the boots, getting the shoes, getting the earphones, getting the playlists of the podcast I'm going to listen to, figuring out the route, but then being patient with myself to know that this is going to be a process. So before I get to the dip, I was like, it's 5 kilometers from our house to my office. Okay. I've driven that, so I can see where the walking routes might be. But let me spend the next 2 weeks. That's all I'm doing, right? So I'll walk with the earphones, with whatever I was playing, podcast music. But the thing I'm doing for the next 2 weeks is just figuring out the route and what's gonna make it easier. So then I'm also plotting if it rains, where's the muddy puddles with Peppa Pig and other stuff, right? So then I figured that out. Cool. Next 2 weeks. Okay, let's figure out then if I walk here and it rains, it's heavy. What are the spots I can run to? Trees or petrol station or like a security booth or whatever, right? So figure that stuff out. Marked. Next 2 weeks.
That's actually quite metaphorical. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
the whole thing, preparing for when the difficulties come, where can I run to?
Yeah.
But I think that's, so obviously you're talking about literally run, but I'm thinking like for people who might be dealing with, I have this big family event that's usually triggering at this time of the year. Or I have whatever it is. I have my boss is like really hectic and we're going into our most difficult season. What can I do to prepare for that so that I don't go off track for what my goal is for the year or whatever it is?
That's what helped with the
preparation.
I prepped. I prepped, again, route prepped, safety measures. I prepped, when it's traffic and the crazy taxi decides then to drive on the walking path, where am I going to go? Right? And again, I'm vain, right? And that's my sin, and I'll deal with it with God when I meet him. But I prepped. How am I going to look when I walk, right? I don't want to look like a clown. Like, there's people I know who are driving here and then they're like, why are you looking so crusty? Where are you going? And let me look like
But you're also the same vain guy who put that head umbrella.
Yeah, but it was cool, though.
But is it cool? Because I was
when
so
it's
shocked.
raining.
No. Is it practical? Is it functional? Is it useful? Yes.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
But it looks absolutely ridiculous.
No, when it's raining, I'm like, that thing, and it has like all the colors in the world, bro.
It's what makes it look ridiculous. I couldn't believe you bought it.
That thing looks cool, bro. And then on top of that, if you think it looks ridiculous, I have a thing. I've covered my face, so you don't even know who I am.
Your walk is distinct. So if anyone, they'll know that's black.
Nah.
If anyone has met you knows you have a very distinct
Unless
walk.
you know that I walk. But most people don't think, first of all, black is walking.
That's true.
So anyway.
So preparation.
Figured out all that stuff. And I want to probably be very detailed, pedantic about this thing, just to say I think it should take that level, because then you know what you're dealing with. Because you know what you're dealing with, right? So if failure is inevitable, man, like, it's gonna take some detailed planning and prep for you to do with that. And it's not to say that your plan is gonna prevent the failure, but at least even when it happens, right? Like, you don't sit with, shucks, bro, like, I failed, and then on top of that, I failed to even plan the first time, and and then you just discouraged even more. But I realized, even at moments when, like, I remember when because obviously then I was like, I need to get boots, right, to walk in the rain. But I bought one pair, and then I realized, if I get to the office and that pair is like wet or whatever, right? And then I need to walk back. If it's not raining, I can't just walk with dirty boots again. I need to find a way to walk with shoes. But then if I leave these boots at the office because they're dirty and I can't carry them, and it rains tomorrow, how am I going to walk back to the office? So that's when I was like, let me get 2 boots. But I had to fail there. And it's in that moment when I failed, at least I had plans to work on to try and improve. And so that's what I'm saying. If we don't plan, when you fail twice, because you failed to plan and now you failed in the actual thing that you were doing. That hurts more. That's discouraging even more. But at least if you fail on a plan, you can refine the plan, right? And it sets you back up better and more quicker to continue walking, as it were, right?
But I think the key is in all of this, the takeaway, at least for me.
Yeah.
And what I'd hope would land with someone listening or watching is like the whole idea is make a plan. and let there be some sort of preparation. And I think there's a level of brutal honesty you do have to have with yourself, because in all those specificities that you gave about how you walk, you knew exactly the things that would trip you up, where you'd be like, oh, the slight drizzle, I'm out. Like, you had to sit there, and even when you're saying the route where you're like, you know, I've done it where you go out or you go to the gym and now I've just lost motivation because you didn't have a plan of what you're going to do when you got there. But you have to be so brutally honest with yourself to say, listen, I will flake. So I need to put systems in place so that I do not flake.
Yeah.
So if you know that every year when I say that I'm going to, you know, start saving money, February comes, which is the big birthday month for whoever, and I fall off track. No, what you need to do now is to say, okay, let me put extra money away now, because I know that March or whenever is gonna come. And I think for us, our big birthday months are funny.
It's March.
It's January, because there's like 5 people.
No, but that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, March.
And then March and then April as well. It's just, it's rough. And it's caught us off guard a few times. You know what I mean? But it's like, if we sit there and go, okay, cool, I'm not touching this money. You know what I mean? Or I'm putting money aside now. Or listen, at that time, babes, I can't buy you a gift for 500. So here's your 150 scented candles. Like, that's what you get, because I have a goal.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if you know that you are going to flake, which we all know, guys, like, in your heart of hearts, you know that you're
old
like,
enough to know.
You're old enough to know, fam. Like, it's why people, when they're trying to lose weight and they know that they're going to go to a dinner, they have like a pre-healthy dinner beforehand, so that they can at least enjoy a little bit of the fatty, sugary stuff, but not a ton of it.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Because they know that you know your own weakness. To say, I won't be able to say no, or like, I'm only gonna carry this amount of money so that I can't buy all the drinks. You know, so I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, just to be honest with yourself, so that, because I think ultimately, like, whatever goal you've set doesn't have to not work. Because I think, like, you in your dip where you'd have 5 months of the year or where you're just immobile, a lot of plans or ideas you had never came to fruition. But last year, they did. They did so many things. Just because you planned, did the dip happen? 100% yes. But prior to the dip, everything else happened. And I think it's like, what happens with the disappointment is, it's like, well, I tried last year and it didn't work. And I'm like, yeah, of course, there are things that happen outside of our control. You know, but I think it's like, within yourself, there are a lot of things you can control.
Yeah.
And if we hone in on that, maybe we can actually have the 2024 that we actually want, or at least some of it. I'd like that.
What did you learn about consistency?
That it actually pays off.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's so obvious. It is so obvious.
And then the thing that got you to appreciating consistency. So what you learned and what got you to learn that. Because I remember we having a conversation, and I'm not going to say about what you needed to be consistent in, but I remember you saying, yeah, see, like I didn't realize, like, just the benefits and the importance of consistency, and I had never been consistent in that thing, you know. That's what you were saying, so I'm quoting you. I had never been consistent in this thing, and being consistent obviously gave you a taste of something, but so what got you to realize that consistency is important, and
what kept me there?
What's the taste? Yeah.
Okay, so what got me was finally admitting that I wasn't consistent.
Sure.
Which was hard, because no one wants to say that they're wrong once again. No one wants to say that they suck at a thing. And that it's their own fault that what X, Y, and Z hasn't happened yet.
Yes.
Right? Or in the way that they wanted to. I had to admit that I wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
And actually look at people who I admire who are doing the thing that I'm like, and they talk about be consistent. And then I was like, okay, sharp. Fine, I can admit that. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. And now you get past that because we're living. We're not going to stay in shame for 20 years. Okay, let me try. That was my thing. I'm going to experiment.
Sure.
I need to, because I'm a pessimist. So I'm going to do an experiment.
And you above.
I'm above. I'm a realist. But no, sometimes you just need to look at the facts. So let me experiment and see what being consistent actually does for this amount of time. And I did it. And not only did I have results in what I was trying to achieve, but also I felt proud of myself. Like, I felt like I felt like I could actually trust myself.
Yeah.
And it's like a weird thing where, like, you know, when you go, oh, I'm going to sleep at 9, but deep down, you know, you're going to sleep at 12. Like you've told a lie to yourself. Like, as in, if you were dating yourself,
if you're a child,
if you're a child, you've told your child that I'm going to come pick you up at this time, and you didn't. And what that says is I cannot keep my word to myself. I am not trustworthy to me. And I didn't realize that I needed to know what it was like to actually be trustworthy. And then I was like, flip, this actually feels good, because I've seen other people who do that. Like my mom is like that. If my mom says to herself, I'm going to wake up every day at 4 a.m., she will. That's going to happen. And I'm like, bro, man, it's so admirable.
You know the people, who sell propaganda the best? Are people who believe the propaganda themselves.
100%.
If I believe this thing, I can convince 5 million people, bro.
You know? And so finally I could believe not just believe in myself to do the thing, but believe myself when I say, I am going to do this. And now that's kind of like a thing I'm carrying in many areas of my life, where it's like, if I say I'm going to finish this document or this treatment or whatever it is, and it's midnight, but I'm finishing it. Even if I sleep at 3 a.m. Yes, I'm tired, but I go to bed knowing that I did the thing. And then, obviously, then you reap the rewards of actually doing the thing on a scale outside of yourself, in your business, whatever the case may be. So I think it was just like, I didn't realize that I hadn't felt, and it's the kind of being proud of yourself that no one else can see. Like it's not the thing of, I won an award. Everyone can see you win an award, or everyone can see that you got a promotion, but no one can see what it feels like to actually say no to the junk food and cook the healthy meal and actually eat it and do it, and go to bed and not order Uber Eats like that. Be like, I actually did it. Like I didn't know I could actually do that. You know. So just build a sense of self-trust, which then helped me set bigger goals, bigger dreams, because I'm like, shucks, this is a version of myself I didn't know existed. What else can she do? And I guess we'll see what 2024 brings.
2024
now. And maybe we can also bring a baby.
Son. Yes. Many babies.
Really? I didn't expect that reaction.
Many babies.
Lord willingly.
We'll get the baby in this year. And then she will come out next year. Yeah. So I pray, and God willing.
Yeah, no, that's a huge thing, because that's like another part that you realize we are just people. Hey,
you'll have a belly by the end of this year.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Hallelujah.
I'll say this as we end, though. As much as I got through my dip, I got to the end of 2023 hella tired.
Yeah, I know.
Hella tired.
Finished.
Hella. And I think obviously there's other contributing factors that affected all of us. But internally, personally, I thought, maybe, yes, my part of my dip was resting. So that I start off my year, or half of my year in August, and then I just finished strong. So and I was like, okay, one thing I will definitely change this year. One, I'll push through the dip, which we achieved in 2023. But after your month, that's when I fell. So I'm like, don't pressure myself into doing work that requires a lot of my creative brain, right? So do stuff like physical stuff, pick up things, move things, stuff that I can recycle, because I think from October till December, I hated the world, bro.
Yeah. I also would like to see you have intentional rest this year, because I feel like 2023, I literally cannot think of a time where there was like intentional rest. It was like, we're resting, but I need to quickly, which I think was part of you fighting the urge to just, hands off, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, now that you know how to do that, I would like for you to learn how to do that, but still have intentional rest. So plan for the resting, I guess.
Yes.
And let's just be great, dude. Let's just hope, I would like for us to be great. Like great humans.
I have to be honest, you just want a baby.
I mean, I said that already, so I don't know.
That's what I'm seeing. When you're saying I want to be great, I'm like, I'm just smelling baby powder. Pampas.
Did we even use baby powder? I don't remember.
No, we didn't.
Anyway.
You did a good job of looking after her pumps.
Did
You did. And it's part of your anxiety. Sometimes, guys, anxiety is not bad.
Sometimes it's good.
Sometimes
it makes you be careful. There's a level of anxiety that keeps you.
That does it. What that does.
So,
do you know that video?
I don't. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Coco, why are you taking? So it's just,
I'll show you that video.
Okay. Anyway, guys.
Cool, man. Be great, bro.
Be great, man. Be honest with yourself and do the thing.
Do the things. Yeah. Stop pressuring yourself.
Yeah.
And something Ezekiel Azonu said in the episode we released in 2.5, where he was like, at the end of the year, him and his wife say to each other, instead of all the things they failed in, but look at like the cool things we did,
That's good.
So with 5 kids, hey, last year we managed to, at least like pack like 33 lunches, and this year we did 40. So that's cool.
That's cool. I like that.
So yeah, it's instead of saying, hey, we should have been somewhere, but say, look at where I'm at. Right? So half full, half empty. So you can look at a glass half empty, and that leaves you depressed, or you can look at it
thing.
Half full. Yeah.
It doesn't change the volume that the glass is holding.
It does not. It's just how you look at the thing, bro.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah.
Anyway,
do the things, man.
Compliments, guys.
Complimentary.
Happy New Year. We'll see you on the next one.
My
African dream.
Stella usnigi Lotto.
'Cause it's my African dream.
Yeah.
It's a dream we can follow. Roll the credits.
31 millions. Sherebos Kamorebosha. Karabosa iteke masa.